Thank you. What a pleasure to be here tonight. An honor to have this privilege. I have the privilege, I often say I have the privilege of representing the best country in the world at the United Nations. So tonight it only adds to this privilege to be with you and to be with such great company and obviously such great friends of Canada and the world. And I want to thank Mr. Latif for his leadership and for, he's the one that is actually, because of his leadership, that the objectives of the Foreign Policy Association and this organization is one of the best in the world in terms of foreign policy, and congratulations and thank you. Tonight, we're honoring a Canadian who now lives in New York, but before I introduce her, I want to salute my colleague, who is a phenomenal representative of Canada and will make great contribution to the works of the Foreign Policy Association, my great friend Phyllis Yaffe, who's the new Consul General for Canada in New York City. And this is a real treat to do this, and it's something I never thought I would do, actually. It is, and to have the pleasure of introduce you an exceptional person like Deborah Gillis as the recipient of the Foreign Policy Association Medal. I want to, the reason why I said I never thought I would do that is that when I first met Deborah, we were both not where we are now in our careers, and we were totally doing different things. And I was a managing partner, a regional managing partner of a law firm in Montreal, and then our life crossed again when I became the managing partner of a national CEO of McCarthy Tétrault, and then Deborah was at Catalyst Canada. But for years, Deborah has been an influential leader and a champion in promoting the place of women in the workplace. Through Catalyst, an organization in which she held numerous key positions before becoming the president and CEO of this international organization with its head office here in New York, she has effected tremendous positive change in the corporate world and by accelerating progress for women through the workplace inclusion. I served on the advisory board of Catalyst Canada while Deborah was the CEO of Catalyst Canada. Then I was able to witness firsthand her innovative approach, really innovative approach to addressing this vital issue of women inclusion, the promotion of women, the leadership of women, and the presence of women in corporations, and in particular on corporate boards. And one thing that struck me, the first thing in a leader, is actually, can you get the right people together? And can you get the right people together and get things done? And it's exactly what Deborah Gillis can do and has done with Catalyst Canada and now is doing on the world stage. I'll give you a few examples. That she initiated the Catalyst Canada Honors, which is a signature event annually that pays tribute to champions of women for women advancement to leadership in corporate Canada. It sounds like a small idea, but I can tell you when it began, the idea of having one night where all of the corporate leaders of the country would be in the same room to actually champion the cause of diversity, it was far from a fait accompli. And just in a few years, it became in Canada, and now I think there's the same event, there is the same event in New York, but this event has been growing and growing and growing in Canada, and I can tell you, to the point that it's on the list or on the agenda for every CEO of the most important companies and banks and financial institutions and pension funds and everybody in Canada to be there. Why? Because they believe in the credibility of that Catalyst brings to this discussion, and they actually, now it has helped put this issue of the advancement of women on the agenda, of the corporate agenda in corporate Canada. And that was a big thing. Then the other big thing, an innovative thing that Deborah led, was what was called the Catalyst Accord, and which was a call to action for corporate corporations to increase their overall proportion of seats on boards for women to 20% by 2017. And that is like 5 years ago or so that was done. And it was quite something that actually companies, banks, financial institutions would come in and sign and take the pledge that in 5 years they would actually get to 25% of membership on their boards would be held by women. And that's a big thing because in Canada, we're not doing that well. We were not doing that well at that time. And it has made a difference. And it has brought accountability. And it has brought the issue on the forefront of the agenda. And thanks to the leadership of Catalyst, and thanks to the leadership of Deborah Gillis. I also want to talk about the fact that I talked about the credibility of Deborah because she did all of this. Now, just imagine Deborah is in the last most powerful business people in Canada for 2016. She was named the number 10 person in this very, very prestigious list of people. And she's often quoted by the Wall Street Journal and BBC and CNN and Economic Times, and she is a reference in the world on diversity. And she's made, you know, it's also in small things that you recognize leaders. And I can, you know, I'll tell you, we share a political past, both of us. Deborah has been very involved in politics in Canada. And one of the things that she's very big on coaching and mentoring. And one of the priorities she's made for herself is actually work to make sure that more women would get into politics, that more women would run for office at the federal level, and in a fantastic political party that we have in Canada, which I'm a civil servant now, I'm neutral, but this is a phenomenal party, the Liberal Party of Canada. And you know what? You all know, I think by now, that a year ago, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was elected as Prime Minister of Canada. And what is the first big thing that he did? Is actually present to the world a cabinet that had gender parity. And if it would not have been because of the work that Deborah did to convince many women to run for office and get on Team Justin Trudeau and be elected, it would not have been possible to get to a parity cabinet. And let me be very nationalistic and very proud of my country and very proud of my Prime Minister, but I actually believe that just having this gender-balanced cabinet and having this very, very simple explanation by Justin Trudeau that, you know, when he was asked, why did you do that after the swearing-in ceremony? And he just said, well, because it's 2015. That actually just, a lot of people said, you know, like this went viral everywhere in the world. And that did more for the cause of women than many other things and many things that we've tried in the past. And it was due actually, because I was there when we did the cabinet. And I was there when the Prime Minister picked the people to sit on the cabinet. Yes, it took his leadership to say there was a line in the sand that there would be a parity. Yes. But because he said, he always replies, he says, well, you know, the men are lucky that I had promised parity because I had so good women to choose from. And I just want to say that this work starts at the grassroots by having people who decide to actually run for office, and they need to be convinced, and that's what Deborah Gillis did. So I am partially pleased tonight to actually have this privilege for all of these reasons, and I could be here much longer to tell you, but I just wanted to give you a little glimpse of the leadership of Deborah Gillis and why the Foreign Policy Association is giving this medal to this woman who is actually has now so much runway left in her career that actually she will do so many more great things in the future. I'm convinced she is taking this fantastic organization that we all know, Catalyst, with a new agenda and a very audacious one, and with great promises for the future. So it is with great pride, and it's an honor to ask Deborah and to say that I'll be giving you the medal of the Foreign Policy Association, and thank you.